Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I was going back through my notes this morning, looking at the research I had done over the course of the NBA season to see if there was anything really interesting that I was overlooking, and it turns out that all of LeBron James's triple doubles this season were a foreshadowing of a June 19th championship, which we're going to get to. If you're new to my channel, I am proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that professional sports, more than the NBA, I'm talking about the NFL, the MLB, they are scripted to the point in the games of significance, such as the championships. They are scripted the way a theater play is or a movie. They are rehearsed, they are predetermined. It is undeniable. And anyone who's having trouble accepting that, just recognize this. Maybe it's hard for you to tell yourself that you've been duped all these years by sports. My father has this same problem because sports are his world. My dad, he's like so many Americans, grew up in a bad situation, never got to know who his father was. His whole life was always stress. The only thing that ever soothed him was sitting in front of the TV watching the sports game. Or, also going to the game. But he's never had money, so he doesn't go to many games. So my dad, a working slave, a nice guy, his decompression time is sitting in front of the sports game. And that's what he's done his whole life. And never once has he questioned if the games were real. And I've been telling him since I was a child, Dad, something doesn't seem right about that. And I don't know about all that, Dad. So my whole life, my dad and I, we've had this dialogue, and he doesn't think the games are scripted. Since I was a kid, I've always thought something was wrong with these games, When I was 9 years old, I was a pretty good athlete, and I would watch these professional games, and I'd watch these millionaires on screen make mistakes that were just so stupid, I couldn't even believe it. I was thinking, man, put me out there as the 9-year-old. I'm not going to make that mistake in this crucial situation. Growing men, paid, pros, how can they be doing this game after game? And sports fans know exactly what I'm talking about. The crucial errors at the crucial moments of the game that totally determine the outcome, that leave sports fans pulling their hair out. Like last night, the Warriors, they couldn't score a single point in the final 4 minutes of the game. Since when? We haven't seen that since Kobe Bryant's final game where he scored 60 against the Utah Jazz. The Jazz didn't score a point in the final 5 minutes of the game. Think about it. All of these games are scripted. If you doubt that, please go through this playlist I put together. It's worse than sports just being scripted. It's the fact that people are ritually sacrificed as tributes to these sports championships. Something I've been explaining since 2013 on my blog, on this video channel. In the last year, I've predicted the deaths of Prince and Muhammad Ali by understanding this scripting and rigging by the numbers. Here's the videos in this playlist. The review of Game 7, the rigging, the death of the actor Anton Yelchin, which we're going to talk more about in this video. I did a whole bunch more homework, got some more crucial information to 100% prove that this man was ritually sacrificed as a tribute to Game 7 in King James on King James's birthday when the basketball player nicknamed King James wins the NBA Finals. It is sick. I got the video about Len Bias, who died June 19th, 1986, the first year the NBA called it the NBA Finals. He was drafted second overall by the Celtics. That year, the number 1 pick went to Cleveland. The number 3 pick went to Golden State, the picks around him. It was LeBron's 13th season. Flip 13, you get 31, 31, a huge number all throughout the playoffs. Cavs, first team to come back from 3-1 in the finals, while LeBron's 31. Basketball equals 31 in gematria. We'll get to all of it. Sports fans, you have to stop supporting these leagues. Even if it is the only thing you love in the world right now. Make your new love finding the truth and fighting back against these tyrants. That's something I did when I was 18 years old when September 11th happened. Remember then? September 11th? We got duped. They knocked down these towers with the bombs, the explosives. They blamed it on the boogeymen. They passed the Patriot Act, taking away our liberties, making it legal to spy on us, collect our information. That's become the law of the land of this country. Remember what happened right after the Patriot Act? Tom Brady and the New England Patriots come out of nowhere, win the Super Bowl. Go back and watch my video on that. All by the numbers, tributes to 9/11 all along the way. It's sick. This has been going on all throughout history. Hurricane Katrina, then the Saints get good, then they win the Super Bowl. Who do they win it against? Peyton Manning. Who's Peyton Manning's dad? Archie Manning? The guy who played his whole career for the Aints that never won anything? Then they win their first Super Bowl against Archie Manning's son. Look at Eli Manning's face every time he wins. He looks like he'd rather commit suicide. You know why? Because Eli Manning was born into it. Just like all these pro athletes that go before it and sell you out. They're born into it. They're slaves. They're following a script. They can't tell you the truth. They don't want to be the next Len Bias or what have you. A lot of athletes drop dead. A lot of you come here and say, well, how come the word never gets out if it's all rigged? Well, maybe the reason why is because the people who actually have balls, they end up at the bottom of the river or dead for some bogus cause, crushed by their car in neutral, The mainstream media, sports, they're controlled by a gang. They control what information gets out. And people who don't play ball, they end up at the bottom of the river. You know what I mean? 2 days ago, June 17th, it was the death of Prince B. He died 57 days after Prince. Prince dead at 57. Vanity dead at 57. I predicted after Vanity's death, it would be Prince next. Now I'm saying Apollonia better watch out. She's got the connections. Her birthday comes 57 days after what would have been Prince's birthday. In this video, I talk about the deaths of 3 men before Game 5, all connected to Game 5. 3 celebrities dead. Former NFL athlete, former actor, former musician. The gang controls the entertainment industry. They control what's in the mainstream. We are ruled over by a gang, and they own the people that they control with money. Money's their tool to control the world. All of us know that, Got to get up, go work our job that sucks, just to feed ourselves, to clothe ourselves, to house ourselves. The world doesn't have to be this way. And I'm not advocating for laziness. I'm just advocating for a better system, trying to show people why things are so broken. For Game 5, what did I say? I said, look for the Cavs to come back and win Game 7. I showed why. King James's birthday and a whole lot more. I showed how the Sports Illustrated cover even said that the Cavs were going to win in Game 7. I told you. Gordie Howe dead in Akron, Ohio, or born in Akron, Ohio, dead during the time of the NBA Finals. A couple days later, the former NFL player Brian Johnson dead in Akron, Ohio. Before the NBA playoffs started, that college athlete dropped dead in Akron, Ohio. Remember, LeBron and Steph Curry both born in Akron, Ohio. Lots of celebrity sacrifices for the NBA Finals. And even in this NBA playlist, I haven't included all the videos I've done. There's more I need to add, such as the death of that college athlete. A lot of people dropping dead. Anyhow, Gordie Howe dropped dead at 88. The Warriors never got past their 88th win. They got number 88 exactly 88 days after Steph Curry's birthday. I pointed out in that video how Gordie Howe finished his career with 4 championship wins and 7 losses. I bet you LeBron finishes with the same record when it's all said and done. 4 wins, 7 losses. And I bet you his next 4 championships are with the Knicks. He wins 1 and loses 3. Kind of like 13. That's what I see in LeBron's future. Muhammad Ali became boxing champion in 64 in Miami Beach. Boxer equals 64. Miami Beach equals 64. Cleveland hadn't won anything since 64. Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown became friends in 64. I talked about all this stuff all this time, saying all that was being foreshadowed. Sean Rook's dead at 46 after he just came back from New York, connected to Philadelphia. Remember, 46 in the King James Bible, Psalm 46 has the 666 tribute. The NBA Finals equals 666 in English gematria. All these sacrifices. Kimbo Slice, dead at 42, born in 74. Muhammad dead at 74, born in 42. Muhammad equals 74 in gematria. I predicted he'd die at age 74 in 2014. Muhammad Ali equals 42, just like LeBron James. Contracted Parkinson's at age 42. The Prophet Muhammad died at age 63. Muhammad Ali died on June 3rd, 63 days before the start of the Summer Games in Rio. Rio, 42 like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, the big way, 96. Opened the Summer Games in Atlanta in 96. Dead 63 days before this year's Summer Olympics. Rio 42. If you add all the divisors of 42, it sums to 96. Boxing ring 96 feet around. Freemason 96. This is how it is. As I continue to say, rigged sports, murder by numbers, scripted news. It all builds the world that the people of this world know, right? This is all the information they have. And they think it's all naturally flowing. They're living out a script. Talked about why the Broncos visited the White House in the time of the NBA Finals. The horse symbolism, Broncos, Cavaliers, White Horse Invicta, Unconquerable. Young baseball player dead the day of Game 1 of the NBA Finals by the numbers. I showed how the shooting in UCLA June 1st was a hoax connected to this ritual going on all basketball season between LA and Minnesota. The day after the shooting, new details came out that the killer had flown in from Minnesota after killing his wife there. I talked about this the day before that story even came out. Minnesota, the home of the Lakers. The story came on June 1st, which can be written 1/6. The Lakers have won 16 NBA championships. Also, 6/1's a lot like 61. Finals equals 61. NBA Finals Game 7 on a date with 61 numerology. Both teams came in having scored 610 points. That's how scripted your news is. This is just the review. We haven't even gotten to the new information. This is just review right here. Covered some of these playoff games. The death of the young basketball player out of New Orleans, 49 days after the death of Will Smith, who died on 4/9, the New Orleans Saint. All those videos should be in here too. All of it's connected. If you haven't seen my first video I did on Prince's death, I talk about how it's connected to the NBA Finals. Again, his cause of death comes out June 2nd. So check out that playlist. We're going to end up adding this video to the playlist too. Here comes the new information. Yesterday, before Game 7, I said this looks very much like another ritual sacrifice for the NBA Finals. I pointed out how he's from Star Trek. That's what he's famous for. Star Trek has gematria of 31, 40, 49. The word basketball has gematria of 31 and 40. Revelation and Warriors both sum to 49. Prince, dead by the numbers. He died 49 days after going to the Warriors and Thunder game on March 3rd, 3-3. He said, all we can go by in this world is prophecy. Revelation is the book of prophecy. The city of Philadelphia, the original capital of this nation, is named from Revelation. The Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. So numbers of significance for the game. Star Trek also sums to 112 in simple English. This year, Prince died on April 21st, which is typically the 111th day of the year. But because it's a leap year, it's the 112th. 112 is the alt dialing code for 911. The day after Prince's death, it came out that Prince had made 4 911 calls. They said the first was October 23rd, 2013. That was exactly 911 days before his death. His first 911 call. Remember when we had the 911 national emergency in the United States? Such a joke we live in. So transparent. You know, the people who rule over us, they must ask themselves how we maintain being so stupid. These people just laugh in our faces all the time. We just had that shooting in Orlando. They said one of the dead was named Gregory Faggot. They said another was Angel Cologne. And Dr. Matthew Lube tried to save him. I'm not making any of this up. It's all been reported. Gregory Faggot, Angel Cologne like colon, Matthew Lube. So anyhow, this guy Anton Yelchin, they said he died in a freak accident. The word accident has gematria of 59, just like his name, Anton Yelchin. So does the word kill in Jewish gematria. Think about how many people in this world are killed and it's blamed on an accident. There's a reason our language is coded this way. It's the reason our legal system's set up the way it is. This world has been built by criminals and tyrants around us. You know, getting away with murder, blaming it on accident. This guy crushes his car in his own driveway while it's in neutral. His death also came 59 days after the death of Prince. I'll point out that the word slave equals 59. So does Negro, so does blues, so does Rasta, so does tobacco. Motown Records came out in 59. There was a major Civil War tribute in yesterday, the date of his death, the date of Game 7. It was the anniversary of Juneteenth, which has gematria of 41, just like yesterday's date numerology, a big number on the season. This man right here, Anton Yelchin, has a connection to the number 41 and more. Anton also equals 64, like the year Cleveland last won a pro sports championship. Year Muhammad Ali became boxing champion in Miami Beach. Again, boxer 64, Miami Beach 64. But check this out. Here's his birth numerology. He's born March 11th, 1989. As I said yesterday, King James equals 89. I pointed out it was the 103rd game for the Cavs yesterday of their season. He had 103 birth numerology. The name of the shooter in Orlando, 103 name gematria, 50 dead, 53 injured, a sum of 103. A lot like 13 when you just drop the 0 in the middle, which doesn't count in numerology. LeBron in his 13th season, King James. So much coding within his birth numerology. 122. Yesterday's game was in Golden State, which equals 122 on the 122nd meridian. Steve Kerr came back January 22nd for the Warriors' 44th game in their 44th season of being in Golden State. They scored 122 points on January 22nd, something I said to look out for before the game was even played. San Francisco also equals 122, where Golden State was prior, both Oakland and San Francisco on the 122nd meridian. He had a life lesson number of 41, big number on the series. Golden State 41, King 41, 41 the 13th prime number. LeBron in his 13th season. What I didn't notice in yesterday's video is that 103 is also the 27th prime number, and this man died at age 27. LeBron would go on to score 27 points in Game 7, the 103rd game of the Cavs season. And that's happened several times before, where his points have synced up with the game sequence and the prime relationship. You know, that's nothing new. Here it is again. And this is why this man was chosen for the ritual sacrifice. I'll point out that March 11th in St. Petersburg, Russia is very interesting because on March 11th in history, the capital of Russia went from St. Petersburg to Moscow. 311 or 11/3, very important numbers to the Freemasons. As I've explained many times, Russia and the United States are part of the One World Masonic, Jesuit, Zionist New World Order agenda. They are the left arm and the right arm. They are the military might. Think about it. Space programs, nuclear weapons programs, Cold War. Always this fear-mongering between the U.S. and Russia. Who's going to destroy who? It's all just part of a show and a grand scheme, an ongoing agenda. United States of Soviet Russia, United States of America. People need to wake up and recognize that someday this nation, it won't be one nation anymore. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. This nation's way too big. Way too many people to be governed by one leader. It's a joke. Someday the U.S. will be broken down into smaller units just as other countries have over the course of time. So many Americans think things are the way they are and they'll always be this way, but it's such a small perspective to have. The average American has such a small programmed perspective. 500 years ago, native people lived here who worked with the land and didn't destroy it. They didn't cut down all the forests, build roads, kill all the animals as we've done. This world is rapidly changing for the worse under this ongoing agenda. What I am showing here is just something from one day that's been going on since the time this nation was created. And that's what my book proves beyond a shadow of a doubt. All the numbers I'm talking about in this video go back to the start of the nation. 13 colonies. USA equals 41. And well before that. So that March 11th birthday, written 113, very special number to the Zionists. Mainstream equals 113. Dishonest equals 113, which is exactly what the world of pro sports and media, mainstream media is. Scottish equals 113 for Scottish Rite Freemasonry. This number gets stamped on a lot of the NBA greats from Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan and more. Go back and look at what Wilt Chamberlain set all of his records. March 11th, November 3rd. It's a joke. It's always been going on. And look at how the Jews run all the pro sports leagues. Baba Kama 113A. Jews may use lies to circumvent a Gentile. What's a Gentile? That's someone who's not Jewish. This rule from Baba Kama 113a, which is the Jewish holy text, says it's okay for Jews to lie to people who aren't Jewish. And it's no secret who created our language when you know gematria. English equals 74, gematria equals 74, Jewish equals 74. The Hebrew alphabet is based on numbers. Masonic also equals 74. Think about this nation's birthday, 7-4. There's only one state that sums to 74. It's Oregon, the 33rd state. We'll be talking about Oregon and Nike in this video as well, too. The date he died yesterday, a date with 61 numerology. Finals equals 61. Game 7 of the finals. Also a date with 41 numerology. The king was crowned on this day. The word freak, they said freak accident equals 41. Freak is 41. Big number of significance. Freak accident equals 100. And he died 100 days after his birthday in a freak accident. Star Trek star Anton Yelchin dead after freak accident. It's always this way. Always this way. This is not the exception. This is the rule. The headlines code the truth of what happened again and again. Go back and watch my video on Vanity. I was showing what was coded and why that looked like death for Prince. It happened. Go back and see why I was saying Muhammad Ali at 74. Muhammad equals 74. Jesus equals 74. Cross equals 74. Messiah 74. Gospel 74. These numbers are important to the Masons who've divided the world over religion, nation, government, politics, sexuality, sports team. And they've coded it all by their numbers all this time. It was also a total span of 101 days, which connects to Philadelphia. Philadelphia won the first NBA championship. All throughout the year, a lot of the deaths parallel Philadelphia. That's where the Pope left from when he visited the country. A lot of deaths connected to Philadelphia and basketball. So what I found out after making the video is he's going to be in the new Star Trek movie, Star Trek Beyond. I didn't know a new Star Trek movie was coming out. When I saw this, a couple things popped right away. He died 33 days before the new Star Trek movie, Game 7 of the NBA Finals that Cleveland won. Remember, Cleveland was the 33rd team to be down 3-1, the first ever to win. How fitting. Cleveland, the only city in the league that sums to 33. NBA Finals, 33. 33 days before the release of this movie, 33 a number of ritual sacrifice. Jesus on the cross at age 33. So, the movie's to come out July 22nd, 2016. That's a date with 65 numerology. Look what it's called. Beyond. Beyond. What's that equal in gematria? 65. So does Prince. Prince equals 65. And like I said, this man's death connected to Prince's death. Since Prince's death, there's been all these connected ritual sacrifices all syncing up with the NBA Finals. Prince said all we can go by in this world is prophecy. And in all these movies, that's what they communicate. The prophecy code, the significance of time. I haven't seen this movie. I don't need to see it. I know they're already going to talk about this somehow in the movie, you know? You pay attention to what they're talking about in the movies. You look at the knowledge I'm sharing. This world will start making a lot more sense to you. The reason this date sequence is so important, July 22nd, it can be written 22/7, which is a lot like 227. That's the 49th prime number. If you divide 22 by 7, you get the number for pi, having to do with cycles and circles. We live in a world of cycles and circles, day and night, seasons, everything, you know. Women on cycles, all of us are on cycles. 22 divided by 7 equals 3.14, decimal point repeating. Look at what 22 divided by 7 equals in gematria, 314. Steph Curry's birthday was March 14th, Pi Day, 3.14. The Warriors got their 88th win 88 days after his birthday. And Back to the Future about time travel, they always travel at 88 miles per hour. All that 88 in the movie. 8, think about what it is. It represents the infinite cycles, repeating patterns. 8 has to do with time. That's why it's all in Back to the Future. 227 is also the 49th prime. Prince went to the March 3rd game, Warriors and Thunder at Oracle, where the NBA Finals was just decided. That was 49 days before his death. Remember, Warriors equals 49. They won that game, the Warriors, 121 to 106, a sum of 227 points. Prince would die 49 days later. Prince said on Tavis Smiley in 2009, all we can go by in this world is prophecy. He said he doesn't concern himself with politics or anything else in this world. All we can go by is prophecy. And the madmen who run the show, this is what they code from. Revelation, the book of prophecy. Our entire nation is constructed around this concept. Not a coincidence. At the beginning of the NBA season, I showed how the Philadelphia longtime employee of the NBA, who'd been with the league since 1947, the first championship, died 106 days after his birthday. The mainstream media had a picture of how many days alive he'd been on a shirt that said, "Who's counting?" It's all a mockery, you know? This man, as an elderly man, was murdered at age 93, 106 days after his birthday. But anyway, 121 to 106, Revelation equals 121, Prophecy 106, Revelation, the book of prophecy. Warriors from Philly, Philly named from Revelation. Also, the July 22nd release date reminds me of the death of Leonard Nimoy. Once upon a time, I made a prediction. I said on February 27th, 2015, there's going to be big news of a major celebrity dead. A lot of people said the prediction, okay, a celebrity died, but it was Leonard Nimoy. He was older. He's not that big of a celebrity anymore. That's what people said at the time. But I said, here's what I learned from making this prediction. Leonard Nimoy was the front page story all day February 27th when he passed, and I predicted this well in advance. What I noticed was February 26th, the night before his death, I was listening to comedy stations on XM radio, and I noticed that they weren't doing comedy. They were talking about Leonard Nimoy, the significance of his career. I was like, what in the world's going on? Why are they talking about Leonard Nimoy? He hadn't died yet. So I flipped the station. I went to another comedy station they have. They were talking about Leonard Nimoy also. So I flipped another station, Leonard Nimoy. All these stations were talking about Leonard Nimoy on February 26th. I was like, what's going on? Next morning I wake up, Leonard Nimoy has died in his sleep. All the XM stations were playing tributes to Leonard Nimoy. He hadn't even died yet. It hadn't been announced anywhere. The next day he's dead. He was a fitting person to die on this date. February 27th, 2015 was a date with 64 numerology. Leonard Nimoy equals 64. Spock equals 64. It's also a date with 44 numerology connected to killing. Leonard, a name alone with 33 gematria. Notice how the date February 27th can be written 2/27, just like July 22nd can be written 22/7. And here Leonard Nimoy has these 64 connections. The Cavs have now won a championship for the first time since 64. Or not the Cavs, the city of Cleveland since 64. Prophecy, the small way, equals 52. It's 52 years later. California equals 52, where they just won. Here's what really trips me out now that I think about it. February 26, 2015, that's the date the Cavs played the Warriors. I made a video right after saying the NBA Finals was going to be the Warriors and the Cavs because of what happened in the February 26th game. Go back. All of these things I have said, they have come true. Here it is, another Star Trek death on Game 7. And I'm thinking this is part of the riddle. This is part of the ongoing thing. Let's just do something in real time. I haven't even looked at this. Let's see if there's an interesting number in the span of dates from February 27th, the day of Nimoy's death, until the date of Game 7, and then we'll also look at the release date of the movie. See if there's anything here. 68 weeks, 2 days from Nimoy to the death of this man who was playing in Star Trek. Oh my God. There it is, Truth Seeker. Wow. Okay. So from February 27, 2015 to the release of this movie on July 22nd is 511 days. And I talked about this in the video I did yesterday on Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Let me show you this on the calculator so it's easier to follow. Just remember the number 511. This is how they do it, Truth Seeker. We're figuring out in real time here. Saturn in Jewish gematria sums to 511. Saturn is the keeper of time. 22 divided by 7, pi, cycles, circles. If you add the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666. And they say the Earth is at this tilt of 66.6 degrees. It has to do with the way our day and night cycles are and everything. All of this stuff is somehow interrelated, and they've coded this into our language, our calendar, the way they operate. Saturn equals 511. Saturn also sums to 93, the keeper of time. Yesterday, the Cavs won with 93 points. LeBron at halftime was 5 of 11 from the field. In history, Bob Marley died on May 11th, supposedly naturally. Bob Marley equals 93, dead on 5/11. And Bob Marley's solo career began in 1974. Bob is 19, Marley is 74. Solo career began 1974 for Bob Marley. See, there's always more to figure out, Truth Seeker. That's why I share this knowledge and hope people will help me. Or hope people will help me. We all have different minds. We have different knowledge. Anyone who uses these skills with awareness will make finds, things I have overlooked, such as how we just connected that 511, a tribute to Saturn and time, which is exactly what 227 and 722 have everything to do with. It is amazing. I know this video is getting long, but hey, it's loaded with what people need to know. All right, so just for a reminder, yesterday the Cavs took the lead 89-87. King James equals 89. It was the real King James birthday in history, King James VI. LeBron became the first player to go to 6 straight NBA Finals since 1966, Bill Russell. LeBron equals 66, so does the word king. Look at this. LeBron James scored the 89th point. King James scored the 89th point on King James' birthday. And Golden State would end up finishing with 89 points. The ABC had this tribute, or ESPN, going to commercial, 89-89 with a 13 on the screen. King James in his 13th season. Covered these things deeper yesterday, but today I want to focus more on the triple doubles. I'm going to show you all that's riddled into LeBron James triple doubles this season and why I think his future is in New York City. But they put up this stat late when LeBron got his triple-double. The only players to do it in Game 7 NBA Finals history, Jerry West, who's now the executive for the Warriors. He wore 44. Jerry West in gematria equals 44. At the beginning of the season, it was the Golden State Warriors' 44th season in Golden State. They were tracing the Jerry West Lakers record of 33 straight wins from 44 years earlier. They put up James Worthy, another James, who wore 42. Jerry West wore 44. James Worthy wore 42. LeBron James, the third player to do it. King James equals 44. LeBron James equals 42. James Worthy also has the gematria 49. Big number on the series yesterday. Still an important number with the Lakers as well. The Lakers play at Staples Center, which equals 49. Lakers equals 66. Revelation is the 66th book of the Bible. Again, Revelation equals 49. Lakers beat the Warriors in the biggest upset of the season on the 66th day of the year, which was Shaq's 44th birthday that day. '89-89, Klay Thompson made the 89th point. It was the second tie in the fourth quarter. 83-83 also. The 23rd prime number, King James's number. King James at the end of the game went down in scripted fashion. A lot of people think he was supposed to make the dunk. What I'm telling you is this was truly scripted. This was the fake injury at this specific moment, all part of the grand theatrics that it was. Notice, the score was 92-89, a sum of 181 points, which is the 42nd prime. LeBron James equals 42. He came into Game 7 having scored 181 points in the series, something I documented. Notice the clock was frozen at 10.6, a lot like 106, a lot like prophecy. Yesterday, Game 7 was on the 106th Father's Day ever. They were calling LeBron James the Godfather before the game. 106th Father's Day. It was also King James's birthday, who was born on a date with 106 numerology. Again, down with 10.6. Paul Pierce on a $10.6 million contract. Paul Pierce equals 106. They used him all NBA Finals to say the Cavs would win the series. They call Paul Pierce the Truth. He was given that nickname by Shaq when he was with the Celtics after he scored 42 points against the Lakers. Same numbers all throughout history. There's a reason Paul Pierce was part of the riddle, something I've been documenting all series. In the end, Cleveland won 93-89. 93-89 in Oracle Arena. Oracle Arena 93 like Saturn. We just talked about Saturn, the keeper of time. King James 89 like religion. Scripting by the numbers is a religion to the madmen. I talked about how this number is significant to the Harlem Globetrotters, which equal 89. Their theme song is Sweet Georgia Brown, the whistling. This year they lost Lemon Mart at age 89. Ritual sacrifice. There's no difference between the Globetrotters and the NBA. Highly skilled men performing rigged games by the numbers. Again, Cleveland, the first team to come back from 3-1. 33rd team, Cleveland 33, NBA Finals 33. The big way, Cleveland 78, NBA Finals is 78. They're the first team to win on the road since 1978. That happened in Washington State, the 42nd state. So I don't want to be too redundant. I covered all this information in yesterday's video, which you can check out. What I want to get to are the triple-doubles. LeBron got his 7th triple-double in Game 7 of his 7th NBA Finals. His first NBA Finals was 2007 with the Cleveland Cavaliers 9 years ago. Check this out. LeBron's first triple-double of the season was February 8th, 2016 against the Kings. Against the Kings, King James gets his first triple-double, ends up winning on King James's birthday. Look how many points the Cavs won with. 120. This was the 120th game all time between the Warriors and the Cavs, Game 7. 120th all time. Scripting, foreshadowing what's to come. The phrase Illuminati equals 120. The Bavarian Illuminati was established May 1st, 1776, just before the start of the American Revolution, a date with 99 numerology. If you write out the word 13, it sums to 99. The Bavarian Illuminati was started with 13 families. Go look at all the 99s in these NBA playoffs. It's all been tributes to 13. In LeBron's first triple-double against the Kings, he had, where's the stats? 21 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. 21 plus 10 plus 10 for the triple-double is 41, just like the word king, just like the date of yesterday's finals. So scripted. The date this game was on, February 8th, that can be written 8/2 like the NBA's 82-game season. It's also a date with 46 numerology. Remember, in the King James Version of the Bible, there's a tribute in Psalm 46 to 666. There's also a tribute to 46 itself. The 46th word of Psalm 46 is shake, and the 46th word from the back is spear. Shakespeare. They say Francis Bacon wrote the King James Bible. They say Francis Bacon is really who Shakespeare is. It makes a lot of sense. From Psalm 46 in the King James Version, there's 666 chapters left. The NBA Finals equals 666. This is how scripted it all is. From February 8th to June 19th was also 132 days. The Cavs just made the record 1-32 when down 3-1 in the NBA Finals. Last year, the train wreck happened on May 12th, the 132nd day of the year. LeBron starred in the movie Trainwreck right after the NBA Finals. There's more to it than that. So LeBron James' second triple-double came against the Nuggets, and he scored 33 with 11 assists and 11 rebounds. Nuggets equals 93 like Saturn. They won with 93 points last night. That game was on March 21st. It came 42 days after his first triple-double, or 1 month and 13 days, kind of like 113. Also 6 weeks, 6 straight NBA Finals. Again, LeBron James, 42. 2 triple-doubles of the season, 42 days apart. From March 21st to June 19th was 91 days. From his second triple-double to the date he won Game 7, 91 days. Game 7 equals 91. Remember, at halftime, the score was 42-49, a sum of 91 points. And as I always say, there's always tributes by the numbers at halftime. For those of you who are trying to figure out how they script the games, I don't know for sure exactly how they do it, but I imagine that there's a margin for error. You just have to get to a certain point by a certain time. So that doesn't mean you need to score necessarily every drive down or miss every drive down the way you're supposed to. You just have to hit the certain marks at the certain points. That's the way it seems to me from observing. Ongoing research. So now with the 42 theme, LeBron's next triple-double, and they emphasize that this was the 42nd of his career. Notice the one prior was the 41st of his career, which came 91 days before Game 7 on 41 numerology. King 41, 41 the 13th prime. LeBron in his 13th season. The reason I'm so redundant is because I know people aren't good with numbers, and I want this to stick for everyone. But anyway, LeBron got his 42nd triple-double over the Knicks, 107-93. The playoffs began this year on April 16th, typically the 106th day of the year, but this year it was the 107th. LeBron wins 107-93, ends up winning the championship with 93 points. Look at the timestamp on here, 115. What's the reflection of that? 511, like Saturn. My girlfriend kicked me out of the kitchen. Moving on, with regards to him getting his 42nd triple-double, LeBron James in New York City, NYC equals 42. And throughout his career, I've always seen these tributes in the numbers between Cleveland and New York. I think that LeBron's future is as a New York Knickerbocker, and I see this as his future. Winning 1 championship there and losing 3. Going to 4 with the Knicks, winning 1 of 4. He'll finish with 4 championships and 7 losses if this is true. He's from Ohio. Ohio equals 47. Very important number to the gang. 1 and 3 in New York would be a tribute to 13. New York City, Cleveland Cavaliers, 168. It's been a long time since the Knicks were good at basketball. I think LeBron will bring good basketball back to the city by the numbers. It's a scripted league. Doesn't it just make sense for LeBron to be in New York? New York is also very much centered around the number 93. 93 World Trade Center bombing. The first plane to hit on 9/11 hit floors 93 through 99. The second plane supposedly hit at 9:03 a.m. There was flight 93 of 33 passengers that day. Important numbers. New York and gematria equals 39. New York has a lot of 39 and 93 connections. One World Trade Center equals 93. This triple-double on March 26th, it was the 85th day of the year. Basketball equals 85 the big way. Remember, Villanova won their championship in 85, then won it 31 years later. Basketball the small way, 31. March Madness equals 64 and 85. It was made a 64-team tournament. March Madness, the new phrase then. From March 26th to the date LeBron won the championship, 85 days later. Curry equals 85, basketball 85. He gets this triple-double on the 85th day in New York City, his 42nd ever, then wins the NBA championship with a triple-double 85 days later. Scripted to the point. LeBron also got this triple-double in the playoffs. It was on May 19th, typically the 139th day of the year. Triple-double in simple English gematria sums to 139. Check this out. Notice that the Cavs won that game 108 to 89. Golden State Warriors equals 108. King James equals 89. In the end, the Golden State Warriors went down in Game 7 with 89 points to King James on King James's birthday. ESPN has this minute 29 stamp, which is the same as 89 seconds. King James religion, things I've been documenting all season. It's all mathematics. The date of that game was a date with 33 numerology, like Cleveland, like NBA Finals. from the start of the finals was 15 days. You know, it's the 2016 season. Check this out. Triple-double, 139. Freemasonry, 139. May 19th, typically the 139th day of the year. From that game to him winning the championship on June 19th was 31 days. First team to come back from 3-1. LeBron 31, basketball 31. Think about it. You know, LeBron the 31-year-old. First guy to come back from 3-1. Curry equals 31 the small way. He scored 31 points, being the 10th team to come back from down 3-1 in the conference finals. CNN, this is what they had up after the NBA Finals. City of champs once more. Bring up the 52-year drought like I was talking about during the season. Prophecy, California, 52. City of champs once more sums to 226. Remember, this whole Warriors-Cavs thing started February 26th, 2015, when LeBron scored 42. The Warriors and Cavs both retired the jersey for Nate Thurmond, number 42. Talked about how Prince was a sacrifice for the NBA Finals. Prince Rogers Nelson, 226. 226, that's the date of the 93 World Trade Center bombing. If you watch the movie Taxi Driver, another thing that's being coded a lot into news right now, Taxi Driver, the massacre happens in New York City at apartment building 226 in that movie. As I explained in my Invicta video, all of this symbolism of the white horse and winning these championships, it's not good. It's leading to a story of tragedy and war, needlessly. These are all just rituals building up to it. These are the things that waste grown men's time. You know, Patriot Act, stealing people's liberties, making it legal to spy on us. What were the men in this nation doing? Were they fighting back for their rights, or were they figuring out their roster for their fantasy football team? You know, people come here and they say, man, you should gamble. You should play fantasy football. You guys, I haven't been into that stuff since I was a little kid. That's stuff for little kids, you know? I'm trying to evolve, help people evolve, get out of this world we're trapped in of lies and disinformation. Money. You know, what does a man need money for? Most of us men, we live for one thing, and for a lot of those men, the only way they can get it is with money. Not all of us need money to get what we really need. You know what I mean? And I just want to remind you something about the Jews of this world. In Revelation, King James Bible, 66th book, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. And I'm telling you, this wasn't written by God to warn us. This was written by the Jews to taunt us, to mock us, as they always have. They're the same people who control your media. They're the same people who control your schools and your curriculum and all the information you have in this world. The Jews are running the show, the Jewish people of this world. And this is what they do, constant reinforcement of their lies and propaganda. They use their mainstream outlet to write this. You're an idiot if you think the NBA is rigged. And look at what they put. It's just a taunt. This is their article. They have a score up 46-49. Huh? Golden State Warriors with 49, Warriors 49, Revelation 49. Talked about 46, Psalm 46, NBA Finals tribute. This article came out just days ago. The author's name is Nick Birdsong. Nick Birdsong. That name Birdsong in gematria equals 88, like poison, like program, like California. The Warriors finished the season with 88 wins. Check this out. The NBA is also headquartered in New Jersey, in this city, having gematria of 216, just like the Cleveland area code. Think about 2016, just lose the zero. The gematria of this location as well, 63. If you add every number up to 63, it sums to 2016. 216 is a backhanded way of getting to 666. It's Cleveland's area code. They won their last game of the season on the 168th day. Cleveland Cavaliers equals 168. They won their last game in Cleveland on the 168th day. A score of 115-101, a sum of 216 points. Special number to this game because it's connected to 666. The word prophecy in Jewish gematria sums to 666. It's how all this stuff comes together. The same gang, always coding out the same way. Around that same time, the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, swears the league isn't rigged. 119 shares, I'm sure. And did you notice when Adam Silver was congratulating the Cavs, giving them the trophy, that he looked nervous? Something didn't look right with him? I think it's because in the back of his mind, he knows there's people out here like us who are decoding the truth, sharing it, exposing what's really going on. And people like him are worried they're going to be held accountable because they're cowards. And they've been doing this to us for so long, they thought we'd never come privy to it. Well, that day's changing, you know? This is more important than anything I've said in this video. And a lot of people won't like this, but this is the truth. The people that we call Jewish of this world, they are some of the worst among us. They're not the real Jews. They're the false Jews, just like it says in the Bible. The real Jews are clearly the black people of the world. That's why in the Bible, the descriptions of them sound like black people. These Jewish people have stolen their identity, and they have used them to empower themselves. Look at how the Jews use all these black entertainers, from athletics to music to movies, making money, controlling the masses, using the people whose identity they have stolen. There's a reason they came to this country and set up freedom of religion for their Jewish faith. If you look at the Jewish faith, it's a lot of perversions. It's okay to lie to people who aren't Jewish. It's okay to have sex with little boys. It's okay to do all this evil shit as long as you're Jewish. What kind of religion is that? Why, as people of the world who aren't Jewish, do we even want that around us? You know? We don't. The reason this world's so sick is because of these sick people are in high places running the show, pulling the strings. The tyrants, all they want from us, this has been recorded in history books, all they want from us is for us to be lazy consumers that support their system, generate revenue from them. The revenue keeps them in power and control. That's why during these sports games, we're bombarded with all these advertisements, all these things to go consume, beer, chips, clothes, cars. Here's a common advertisement for Nike with LeBron James. I want to show you what's up with Nike this year and Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Notice this phrase, we are all witnesses. Gematria of 66, just like LeBron. Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible based on the 39 books of the Old Testament. Again, LeBron, the first player to go to 6 straight finals since 66. The final score, the Cavs won with 93. Nike's logo is the swoosh of Saturn. Saturn 93, Nike the reflection 39. Nike's headquartered in Oregon, the 33rd state. In 1970, the Cavs and the Portland Trail Blazers from Oregon both joined the NBA along with the Buffalo Braves. The Blazers would win their only championship in 77. The Cavs would win 39 years later in 2016, and I don't think this is any coincidence. Nike turned 44 years old as a company this year. Right after their 44th birthday, they signed Nike to a lifetime contract, the first person in the history of the world to sign a lifetime contract with a company. That means they own him until he's dead. And there will come a day when the insurance policy and all the money it will pay to Nike will be worth killing LeBron by the numbers. LeBron has a lot of numbers having to do with death coded into his name and his date of birth. We're going to read about LeBron dying probably shortly after his NBA career is over. Don't kid yourself. When Nike's done using him to pimp their gear. These athletes don't realize how they are getting used. They truly are slaves to this system in the way we're slaves to a system, just on different tiers. The date LeBron signed the lifetime contract, December 8th, 2015, a date with 35 numerology connecting to King James. Again, he wins the championship with 93 points on King James's birthday. The whole show is rigged. Your government, your big corporations, your sports, it's all one thing. There's no separation. You live in something much worse than a dictatorship, something much worse than communism. All this stuff that you've been scared of, throw it out the window and pay attention to where you live right now. It couldn't be any worse. Your whole world runs on deception and rigging. After the game, they got LeBron in the Nike shirt. You can see the Nike logo down there. 7th career triple-double in 7th NBA Finals in Game 7 after his first championship within 2007. Oregon's the 33rd state. This was the box score the night LeBron signed the lifetime contract. Lillard, the high scorer for Portland with 33. James, 33. Lillard from Oakland, like where James won the NBA championship. Remember Anderson Varejao traded from the Warriors to the Blazers, released and then became, traded from the Cavs to the Blazers, released by the Blazers, then became a Warrior. All part of the ritual, you know? All part of the ritual. Varejao played in 31 games for the Cavs this year. Said he was eligible for a ring if the Cavs won, even though he's a member of the Warriors. I guess the league minimum to qualify for a ring is to play 31 games with them. Also, this tribute with LeBron, I didn't mention this yesterday. I mentioned the significance of 44 and King James. LeBron also has Chosen One tattooed on his body. Chosen One has gematria of 44. At 4.4 seconds with the game, a sum of 44 points, LeBron took the free throw line. Last night he put in the 93rd point. It's all just so scripted. People were saying I was crazy 2 years ago when I was showing this, but they're not saying that anymore, you know? The only people who are saying that now are people who are dedicated trolls, people paid for by the Jews that own YouTube to come and discredit the truth. The last time Cleveland, the city, won a pro sports championship on a date with 122 numerology, now they win their follow-up in Golden State, having the 122 gematria on the 122nd meridian. That was also a date with 103 numerology. Cleveland wins their 103rd game. Remember that boy who died, crushed by his own car? 103 birth numerology, 27 years old. 103, the 27th prime. LeBron, 27 points in the 103rd game. His first name summed to 64, like the last year Cleveland won. That's why he was chosen for the sacrifice. And that's probably also why he was even cast in this Star Trek movie. These people line it all up this way. They got it all figured out, all planned out. All right, Truth Seeker, I know it's a lot of info. I wish this video was 5 minutes, but hey, when you're putting a lifetime of knowledge into a video, sometimes it has to be an hour long. Until next time, Truth Seeker.